Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa and today I'm doing part 1 of my August recent reads or August wrap up. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me, it's just what I've read so far in the month of August. So the first actually series of books that I picked up in the month of August was on my hashtag Read It or Lose It challenge, and that was A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Mist and Fury, of course. And I also ended up picking up A Court of Frost and Starlight as well, but that one I actually don't have in physical format. That one was a ebook read. Yeah, it was an ebook read. So honestly, I went into these books thinking that they were going to be kind of childish, typical YA romancy kind of thing, and I wasn't really going to enjoy them 100%. And oh my God, was I wrong. I love these books. I literally, from this first book, fell in love so hard with these. I think I ended up reading the second, third, and fourth ones all in a day a piece because they were so good. I mean, to the point where I had a huge book hangover after these. It threw me into kind of a reading slump. I just wanted more of this. I did not want to read anything else. So anyway, now that I'm done gushing about it. So what these books is about, there is this girl named Sara and her two sisters, and they live in the mortal world. There is a wall separating the mortal world from the fairy realm, and so far basically Sara and her sisters have only heard stories about the fairies, that they're all bad, they're all evil, that's why they have to stay on the other side of the wall. And so Sara is out hunting one day and she ends up killing this wolf. Well, the wolf ends up being a fairy that she killed, so one of the high lords from across the other side of the wall comes to her house and basically says, you have two choices. I can either kill you as retribution for killing one of the members of my court, which was the wolf, or you can come with me and live across the wall. So she basically says, okay, well, I'll come with you and live across the wall. And so, of course, the story goes on from there, and this is basically like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So yeah, I love Sara. I love her character arc from the first book to the A Court of Frost and Starlight that I read. Oh my God, I love her character. The High Lord's characters are amazing. The twist that happens in book 2 and book 3, it's just, so perfect. So perfect. Just love it. Love everything about it. So first foray into Sarah J. Maas was reading the Throne of Glass books, and I really didn't enjoy those very much because, assassins that don't assassinate people is just not interesting to me, and I thought those books really dragged on too much and they didn't really do a whole lot for me. So I assumed that these books were going to be the same, and I was really wrong. So I'm very glad that I was wrong. So altogether, that was the first 4 books that I read in the month of August, because of course there is A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight. So yeah, I read all those back to back in the very beginning of the month. So the next book that I actually picked up was Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, and that one I listened to on audiobook, and man, that was amazing. I kept hearing about this book that was basically about these killer mermaids. There is the ship that is getting ready to go out, and this guy is collecting all these scientists to go out into the middle of the ocean, to the deepest part of the ocean, which is the Mariana Trench. And I think it was 7 years before this book starts, there had been another expedition out there. It was basically like a mockumentary that they were doing, trying to prove the existence of mermaids or fake the existence of mermaids. Well, everybody on that ship died and nobody came back, and they had some video footage showing these mermaids, and everybody thought it was a hoax. But it was 2 weeks later, the Navy ended up finding this ship just floating in the ocean, and there was no crew aboard whatsoever. So basically they're sending this second expedition out, trying to find out what really happened and to prove the existence of these mermaids. I thought this was excellent. This
book was just so amazing. It was very well done. There was tons of suspense in here. There was like, you know, there was some gruesome bits in there too, but killer mermaids. Oh man, and the twist that happens at the very end, holy shit. Like, it just like throws a whole new terror onto this book, like right at the very end of it. And I just thought it was amazing. It was very, very, very well done. So to follow that up, there is actually a prequel book that was written for this after, of course, you've already read Rolling in the Deep. So, Into the Drowning Deep. The first one is called Rolling in the Deep, and that is the prequel to this one. So that one actually goes through the first expedition, the first boat that actually went out and what happened. It was only like a 3-hour long audiobook, but that one was also really, really good. I don't think that it had quite as much build up and quite as much detail in it. It just kind of left a lot of things assumed in there, but it did give you a little bit of the story as to like how it started happening, how all these people started disappearing. So that was a really nice kind of add-on to this book. I would definitely recommend this one. Highly recommend to anybody who likes, you know, a little bit of thriller, a little bit of horror, a little bit of suspense, you know, and for anybody who doesn't think, you know, that mermaids should be these pretty little sirens like Ariel that just sit on a rock and sing at people all day long. Amazing. So for a continuation of the hashtag read it or lose it challenge, my next book that I was supposed to read was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a chunky book. I DNF'd this. About 260 some pages into it, I was bored. I was extremely bored. I did not think that the characters were amusing. I didn't really care for them. I was very highly confused because you're following multiple points of view. I mean, like 4 or 5 points of view. And I just got so confused by it and I wasn't invested in any of it. So I just decided to DNF this because it was like pulling teeth to get me through the first 260 pages. And at some point I just was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. I might as well not even read it. So yeah, this is basically like, again, it's set in like it's told from 3 or 4 different perspectives, and I couldn't follow any of it to really tell you what it was about so far. It was just, it didn't capture my attention enough, so I did DNF this one. So then the last book that I'm going to talk about today was a book that I had DNF'd once already, and came back to. That is Nocturna by Motayne. And this book is set in this world where there was a light god and a dark god once upon a time, and the dark god had basically been separated from his power and locked away. Well, there is a girl who is a face thief, and she infiltrates this card game where it so happens that the prince of this world also infiltrated this card game, and they're both in secret. Well, somehow between the two of them, they end up setting this dark god's power free, and then they are tasked themselves with going around trying to get this power basically back behind closed doors. And I thought it was an interesting premise. I did like the storyline of the book. The only real problem and complaint that I have with this book is that they switch into Spanish a lot, which is not really a big deal, but the Spanish swear word that is used about 1 million times in here is maldito. Drove me nuts. I know I'm not saying that right, but it's maldito. And it basically means damned to hell, but in this case they mean it as just like trying to say damn. And it's maldito this and maldito that and maldito this and maldito that throughout the whole fucking book. Oh my god. I wanted to bang my head on a wall because I was like, for God's sake, come on. Like, there is such a thing as overusing the shit out of words, and if any book has ever done it, this is definitely the one. I would say this is a solid middle of the road book if you can ignore the fact that Spanish swear words are way overused in this book. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys for the first half of August, and stick around for the second half and see what else I have in store for reading. And that is all I have for you guys today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.